that you have.
Love it. Well, again, Ferris, thank you so much. And, for those of you that are following, I really hope that you leaned into a lot of this. Again, we talked about marketing, networking, we talked about growth strategies. We want to work smart because when we work smart, that is how we stay productive in everything we do and can work at that optimal level.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Investing in real estate doesn't have to be a pipe dream. But how do you find, analyze, renovate, finance investment properties without getting ripped off? My name's Andrew Glisson. In 4 short years, me and my team built a portfolio of 200 rental properties and multiple.
Hello and welcome to Salaam Namaste. Broadcasting live from the Now Media TV studios in Houston, this is Saji Salam. This evening we have a very special guest joining us from Dubai. Amin Azan is with us. Amin is a strategy advisor based out of Dubai, and he provides strategic advisory services to businesses in the Middle East. Amin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Saji Salam, for this invite. Thanks a lot.
All right. So, Amin, let's just dive right in. Let's start with an introduction because I might not have done justice to the work you do. So I'll wait to hear from you.
Well, I have been in the field of strategy consulting for the last 20 years. And I had consulted companies in India and across GCC countries. And my services have been across industries. So it's basically industry agnostic. And I have had the opportunity to understand and deal with owners, entrepreneurs, businesses, challengers across domains. And that gives me a unique skill in understanding business problems and providing solutions to them.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I mean, this whole GCC is an, as far as many of our viewers here in the U.S. are concerned, is not a familiar market for them. So could you talk a little bit about GCC, what that entails, and also the growth opportunities in the market, and maybe touch upon some of the countries specifically in that market where we are seeing economic growth.
Sure. GCC actually refers to countries like UAE, Oman, Qatar, Saudi, Kuwait, Bahrain. And these are the countries that are actually part of the Middle East. And they are very famous for having a lot of oil reserves. And the oil economy has played a very crucial role in the kind of developments that we have seen in the last 50 years. And as of today, where we stand, the GCC economy is in several ways moving ahead of the global averages. The GCC countries have started developing other sectors which are non-oil, and this sector is expected to increase by 4% this year. And according to Purchasing Managers Index, PMI data, the regional economies are in relative good health and are in positive momentum. And leading these countries in GCC is the UAE and Saudi Arabia. UAE has been consistently the market leader by introducing innovative legal structures, reforms, and opportunities for different kind of industries to flourish across the globe by having UAE as the base. And now Saudi Arabia is catching up as it opens up its huge economy to tourism, hospitality, manufacturing, and several other industries. Another thing to note is that post-COVID, both UAE and Saudi has been on a real growth trajectory. And Saudi Arabia has got really ambitious goals and targets like the Vision 2030. Unlike UAE, Saudi Arabia is opening up, and as a result, it has got immense opportunities to actually immense opportunities for businesses, especially SMEs, to actually explore and benefit. Some of the recent interesting developments in Saudi Arabia is that they have made obtaining tourist visas easy and convenient, and as a result, they are welcoming tourists and visitors in huge numbers. And beyond tourism, real estate, and hospitality, GCC countries are also seriously investing into modern technologies like AI and generative AIs, especially governments of UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. They are actually investing substantial amount of money and showing a lot of interest. To top it up, I would say that the Dubai government, for example, recently published a report which shows the different opportunities that these kind of new technologies are going to open up, showing that these are industries that the businesses can start thinking of. Another area where GCC again is trying to top is the energy sector beyond oil. So the natural and sustainable energy is one major area where they're actually giving a good focus on.
Interesting. So from my understanding, Dubai started on this path of diversification into other industries and reinventing itself a long time ago, because Dubai, did not have a lot of oil. So what you're seeing now is other countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia also going down the path of diversification into other industries, primarily real estate, renewable energy, and technology. And so that's very interesting. And I think in many cases, the regulatory aspects, the rules and regs related to doing business, all that were much more clearer and clearly defined in Dubai, and other countries are now catching up to that. So is that a sort of an accurate summarization of what's going on in the Middle East these days?
Yeah, I think that is right, because Dubai has been the pioneer in this region with regards to introducing new innovative opportunities for business. The best example would be the free zones, the Jebel Ali free zone, and Emirates Airways. Dubai has done many things, many amazing things that are for not just for the GCC to follow, but for the whole world to follow, I would say.
Interesting. I mean, could you now talk a little bit about the broad scope of services that you provide to your clients in GCC?
In GCC, I provide services that I feel are currently in the need of the time. As you know, GCC has most of its small and medium businesses which are owned by expatriates, people who have come from different parts of the world to make, for example, UAE or the Oman, Qatar, whatever it is, as their home or their second home. And many of these businesses are in their second generation. Some of them are in their third generation. And this brings about a lot of challenges to these businesses that a normal startup or a new gen business would not face. These are the areas where I provide my services. For example, most of the businesses that you find here are partnerships. Partnerships or as companies. And what happens in partnerships is that over a period of time, the quality of the partnership leadership depreciates due to many factors. Because the kind of chemistry that existed when the business was founded, every partner had a role to play. And what happens over a period of time is that the external and internal systems, the situations changes, which makes some of the partners obsolete in a way. They don't have a role to play anymore, or their roles are not required in the way it was required in the past. Or in certain cases, due to disruptions, they have absolutely no skill or idea to deal with the situations of the present situation. So in these cases, what usually happens is that the kind of chemistry that partners had with them will start to have cracks, because some partners will feel that they have a strong role to play while the other person is not, but they are sharing the profits in the old ratio itself. So these are areas that can actually aggravate and at later stages be the cause for partnerships to fail. So we are talking about successful businesses failing because the partners were having issues. So this is one area where I provide my consulting services, wherein I advise partnerships to be effective and act professionally, befitting the present times. Another area where I actually serve clients is that businesses over a period of time fail to change their business models. They keep on holding back to the old model, which was successful a few years back, and they suddenly start seeing sales dropping, customers disappearing, and the only solution that they know is to increase their marketing or sales budget or start pressurizing the sales team, but to no avail. The fact is that their business model is dead, and the time has come for them to reinvent a new business model for them. So this can be easily done. It's very difficult for organizations that have been for decades. When the whole system is built around those business models, to change it means changing at different levels. It involves substantial change to the culture, to the people, to the systems, the processes, even the customers, and it's not easy. So I advise companies on how they should implement changes when it comes to their business model, and how to find a new business model that matches them. That's also as important as being ready to make that change.
It's an interesting conversation so far. I mean, let's come back after a quick commercial break to continue this.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now. Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753. artritis, inflamación, reuma, dolores articulares, dolores musculares, dolores, 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 muchos dolores, una solución. Be Miracle, el milagro de vivir sin dolor. Hace más de 2400 años, los griegos descubrieron los poderes desinflamatorios de la apitoxina, el veneno de las abejas, que es 100 veces más poderosa que la cortisona, pero sin sus efectos secundarios. Be Miracle, la fórmula original con apitoxina 100% natural, el milagro de vivir sin dolor.
Yo me acostumbré a vivir con dolor y con alta presión. Fue como un milagro. Empecé a tomar la capsulita de veneno de abejas y se me calmó el dolor. Mi presión está normal y hasta el carácter me cambió.
A nosotros nos gustaba pasear, caminar, bailar, ir a la discoteca, pero nos llegó la artritis y nos arruinó todo. Y ahora, tomando una capsulita diaria del veneno de la abeja, volvemos a disfrutar de la vida.
Y gracias a este milagro podemos ser felices.
Be Miracle frena la artrosis, rejuvenece las articulaciones, desinflama y elimina el dolor. Ya basta de dolores musculares, ya basta de dolores articulares, ya basta de sufrir.
Con una cápsula diaria del veneno de abejas, volví a vivir sin dolores.
Be Miracle. Llame ahora y reciba 2 meses de Be Miracle en oferta especial. Ordena 2 y recibe 3 meses de tratamiento. Pero si llama ahora mismo con su orden, recibirá la crema Be Miracle de acción inmediata completamente gratis. Para ese dolor rebelde y localizado que a veces aparece. Pero tiene que marcar ahora. Be Miracle. Una cápsula por día. El milagro de vivir sin dolor toda la vida.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Welcome back as we continue this interesting conversation with Amin. Amin, let's go back to the scope of services that you provide and take it from there.
Thank you, Saji. The next service that I actually provide is again related to businesses that are kind of like established, where they have profits and they are ready for growth. See, many businesses fail successful businesses fail when they take the wrong growth path. So I actually consult such businesses on what kind of a strategy that they should follow when it comes to their growth. Should they grow organically or should they grow inorganically? Should they diversify? Should they get themselves franchised? Or should they expand regionally, locally? These are all very important decisions that will require substantial amount of capital, manpower resources, and creating reserves and planning for the future. And making a wrong plan in this area can actually adversely affect the business. So this is one area where I advise. And I would say the last major area where I focus is the family businesses. Most of the businesses, after 10, 20 years, it naturally becomes a family business when their successors join in. And this is a time when business experiences extraordinary situations, because most businesses do not follow a professional family transition programs. They don't have a proper grooming in place. They don't have family governances, and and the transition from one generation to the other can actually create a lot of pressures and stresses and unexpected situations, especially when there are more than one successor coming into the business, especially when the business was originally a partnership between two non-family members, and when their children joins the businesses, it becomes a multi-family business, and the complication just gets more interesting. And suppose if the business is in the second or third generation, the transition gets even more complicated. And it's a shame if a good family business actually fails or disintegrates or becomes nothing after division of equities and stuff like that. So it is very essential that the effort of the founder has to be safeguarded. He has to build a foundation that actually ensures that family business after his time does not get destroyed, but actually flourishes and thrives. So these are the areas that I actually provide consulting services in the GCC area.
All right. I mean, there's there's a lot of work cut out for you. You have several family-run businesses which are now in the second and third generation, and so grappling with everything from dealing with the internal family dynamics, the external market forces in terms of changes happening around them, and the new business models emerging. And I'm sure digitization is also another a new area for any who've been in family business. So I think it's a very interesting set of challenges you are helping these businesses navigate. So maybe for our viewers to understand, maybe we talk about one of these situations you have handled, so that the viewers get a sense of what the nature of all this looks like in a real situation in the GCC market.
Well, the four services are actually totally diverse kind of challenges that comes with it. And due to confidentialities, I wouldn't be able to actually name any situation, but I can give you examples as illustration of the kind of problems businesses can face, which I solve actually. For example, in the case where I spoke about the partnership effectiveness program, a common situation is like two partners started the business together, and for 5, 6, or 10 years, everything was going fine. And then suddenly, the partners feel that they are not having the meetings as before. The kind of discussions that they were having is not happening in the frequency that was happening before. And this was really affecting their ability to actually take very important competitive decisions in the market. So when competitors make a move in the market, they have to respond with the same agility. And many times the managers of the company was not able to get the directors or get the partners to actually approve some of the plans that they have. And one of the major reasons for this distancing was that the partners could have lost, they may not be sharing the same priorities anymore. And that is something that can happen in partnerships, because you have two people active in the business, but after some time, one of the partners can start having another business, and he might start getting more income from there, or it might be more appealing to him, and his priorities change. And when partners' priorities change, the way they react to the old business changes. For example, if suppose I am a partner who wants to grow the business, my priority on profits would be, let's create reserves so that we can grow. Let's make provisions in the business so that we can hire people who will be there when we want to grow. But if you are a partner who does not have this business as the priority, and you would like to have the dividends totally withdrawn so that you can fund your other business to grow, naturally, this is a decision that you will not be supporting, because you don't want reserves to be kept. You don't want the dividends to be cut short. You need that proper full dividend to be distributed. And this can create friction. This can create a lot of unpleasant moments between the partners. So this is a case where what we typically call lack of shared vision. This is a time when that shared vision is the main culprit that is actually creating a problem within the partners. And the interesting thing is that many a times these partners would not be speaking about it directly. They just assume that this is what he is up to. This is this is the reason why he's not being proactive. So the reason why they don't communicate with each other is that they are afraid that the relationship would go if they ask questions that actually the other person resists and a confrontation happens, and they fear that can have adverse consequences. So the partners do not touch point on the sensitive areas, and they keep revolving around the bush, ignoring the elephant in the room. So this creates a lot of problems in partnership businesses. So this is where I come in, and I have a leadership audit session with them, where I have a meeting with each partner, and I get to understand them better. I get to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and their priorities. Like where do they see themselves? Where do they see this company? Where do they see their other businesses? And I also have sessions with their managers, because managers will be the people who actually deal with them regularly. And I try to get how they perceive the situation and how they see the challenges the leaders are facing. And after that, I do a gap analysis, and I compare their present situation with the ideal situation where they should have been. And based on that, I make a presentation and I tell them where they stand and where the gap is and how we are supposed to fill it. And the next step would be having a shared vision. And this shared vision, we try to define where the company should be going in the coming years based on the interest of both the parties, not just one party. And that gives a lot of clarity to both people, how they should be reacting and how they should be leading the company. And once that is over, the next stage, I prepare a partnership governance, wherein which I define how the partners are supposed to behave and act professionally at their leadership level. Now, this is a very important point, because most of the time in partnership businesses or even companies, they focus on the professionalism of the employees. From the CEO to the last employee in the company, they want it to be run in a professional manner. But inside the leadership room, that professionalism would be lacking. It would be a very casual setup, and as a result of which, it creates a lot of confusions and a lot of issues that ultimately affects the performance of the management of the company. So this kind of governance actually brings in order how the partners are supposed to behave with each other, how they are supposed to communicate, how they are supposed to take decisions, how they are supposed to resolve issues, disputes, and stuff like that. And once that stage is over, then I sit in their board or in their partners meet, so that I can see firsthand how they are actually behaving in their meetings and how they are actually taking decisions. And I also would be using my own experience and expertise to actually help them take right decisions. And this will go on for few months till we all feel that, okay, now things are on track and they can have it on their own.
Okay. Very, very insightful comments on the business in Middle East and how you're managing this. I mean, I have a few follow-up questions on that, but we'll speak more after a short commercial break.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you. Call 800-749-7781. That's 800-749-7781. Call now.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
Welcome back as we continue this fascinating conversation with Amin. I had one very, a relevant question regarding partnerships, and that is regarding operating agreements. So the partnership situation, as you pointed out, is seems to be very unique. But we see that across the board in some of the businesses, or a lot of the small businesses in the US as well, where the difference in some of them is that there are operating agreements drafted before even these partnerships come into place. And so the operating agreement goes in a lot of detail in terms of what to do, what not to do. And so that becomes sort of the guideline which kind of keeps the partnerships focused on what they can and cannot do. So, the segue to that is, how do you see those legal contracts and operating agreements and the like being put into place, or are these businesses more or less informal in terms of how they set up these partnerships?
The thing is that most organizations or most partnerships, when they form, they sign a partnership deed. Or if it's a company, it's going to be a memorandum of articles or article of association, as we have it in India, or memorandum as we have it in UAE. But these documents focus mainly on the ownership part. What is the kind of businesses that business will do? What is the kind of profit ownership share that each partners are having? How the profits will be divided? And so basically, it's about what the business scope would be, and what it would be doing, what it won't be doing, and what the ownership structure would be. But this helps actually define the ownership and the kind of profit distribution, stuff like that. But what I'm talking about governance is how they are going to act as leaders in the business. And this can be much more detailed than what is actually written in a partnership thing. And this need not be even a legal document. It's actually more of an understanding document, uh, so that they can conduct the business in a proper manner. The other one is kind of like a legal document, which actually is important to define the ownership and the kind of the legal limits of that business. While the other one is a kind of like semi-informal one, but which focuses on ensuring that the business people, the partners, manage the business professionally. So that's the difference between these two kind of structures that they have to build.
I think we see some of that governance issues even in many organizations, including startups which are of a critical mass. I've seen this in companies which are doing 50 to 100 million in revenues, but still not having good governance and even basic governance like meeting management or meeting schedules and who needs to be there, so from very basic levels of meeting management to more governance across departments. I think even many medium-sized U.S. businesses struggle with a lot. So I'm not surprised that family businesses have these challenges as well. But I think it's good to hear from you that you're providing these critical services for those firms. So now let's jump to a little more nuanced discussion here on the family business continuity, because now you're involving another element, beyond partners. Now you're involving family and then family of partners, and so I think that gets a lot more complicated. So maybe you could talk about a scenario or two where you had to deal with family business consulting, continuity consulting situations.
Family business is actually a new area that I'm actually handling, especially since I came to UAE. I have to mention that I have been in India for a long period of time, providing, and I have a consulting firm there as well. And it's last 2 years that I'm now relocated to UAE to handle GCC clients. And when I came here, I did have 6 months of study where I was trying to find the niches that was required in the market right now. And that is when I actually discovered that the family businesses, the businesses that were established some 50 or 40 or 50 years ago, are maturing into their second generation. Most of them are maturing into their second generation now, and they are facing problems. They are facing issues. This is what led me to actually do more research and more study in this topic. And at present, instead of providing consulting, I'm focusing more on creating awareness, because consulting family business is also tricky because it's a very long game. It's not something that somebody has to do tomorrow. It's a long game. So to be able to provide that as a consulting service in this market, I really have to make the market ready for it. And hence, my focus is more on creating awareness about the different complications in family businesses and the kind of structures that they should be building. So you would find in my LinkedIn post, I regularly post about family businesses. And I do get people asking me about improving their family businesses. And in the coming months, I would be actually starting to provide that as workshops so that people can actually get to understand the kind of process that is involved in managing a family. And it's not just doing things or taking things as it comes. And I feel that after the workshops and the awareness of the entrepreneur class would increase, and then the consulting stages would be starting up. And during the consulting, it's more or less the same structures that we follow in any consulting engagement. It's about understanding the situations through audits, and it's about finding the gaps, building issue trees, and building systems and processes, and governance structures around it. So kind of like that part would be, framework would be the same, but its content and how we handle it would be different.
So to going back to the point you touched upon with regard to your previous experiences in this space, so do you see family businesses being open to taking advice from external sources? My understanding is that many family businesses usually take advice from their family members and others in their circle, and very reluctant to bring in external advisors. So are you seeing that change happen in the Middle East, where they are like, hey, we need to bring in external consultants to guide us in this process?
That's a very interesting question, because I would say vast majority of businesses would be reluctant to change. The thing about family businesses is that the weight on the founder is very high. Sometimes the founder would have educated his children. His children would be like, doctorates and stuff like that. But in a family business, it is he who takes the final call. So if he does not understand the importance, then that family business has problems, because once his time is done, it is very difficult for, even if his children were educated and enlightened, for them to come together. And the reason is that everybody is different. If I have 4 brothers and we are made to take that decision, all the 4 of us will have different priorities. We might love each other, we might be having good unity, but when it comes to business, we may have 4 ideas. One will say that we'll continue, the other will say that let's split, the other will say that let's go diversify into that, the other will say that we should not do anything that's adventurous. And that's the beginning of a big split. And that split does not really mean that it's going to be under an enmity or something like that. It would be, in most cases, a friendly division of assets. That's it. But so it's important that the founder is enlightened. And we know old school people, they have a very different idea about how businesses should be run and how the company should be going forward. And many of them are usually reluctant to take advices from others, because the general feel is that how does someone know about my business more than me? So many people, especially people who come from traditional backgrounds, definitely, irrespective of how big their businesses are, there is a very high chance that they will think that way. But there is a minority who actually understand, who actually have exposure, who actually think about businesses in a progressive way. These are the people who actually will be using these services.
Oh, very, very, very good perspectives here. I mean, I think, so the consultant is not just a consultant, he is also sort of, becoming a sort of an unbiased, broker of various opinions that are coming in, and kind of building a consensus on what makes sense. So I think that's a very, very unique position for you to come in. Very, 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 beautiful perspective here. And let's come back to talk more with Amin after a short commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse, and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now. Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Todos quieren boletos de avión baratos, pero ¿dónde los encuentras? Llamando a Vuelos y Más. Sus precios vienen directamente de las aerolíneas y son tan bajos que no los vas a encontrar publicados en ningún otro sitio. Nos especializamos en garantizarles los boletos de avión más baratos, con descuentos en habitaciones de hotel, alquiler de carros y grandes ofertas en paquetes para cualquier lugar del mundo. No importa su destino, podemos ayudarle.
Gracias, Vuelos y Más.
¿Qué espera? Llame ya.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen Port Oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
Welcome back as we continue this conversation with Amin. Good perspective so far. Let's talk a little bit about the other part of the business where you're helping these family businesses move on with growth strategies and getting them realigned with the new realities of doing business worldwide.
Well, that is a very important area. The thing is that many businesses, when they have a substantial amount of profit and when their business model seems to be working and when they see potential to grow, they grow without a plan. See, the biggest problem with business is that the people leading the businesses are usually human and they are emotional. And many things can actually influence the decision of an entrepreneur. It could be it could sometimes be something fancy. It could be the desire to be famous very fast. It could be the desire to have branches everywhere. It could be the desire to grow very fast. The role of a consultant is to actually bring logic into the expansion or the diversification. I think the process of bringing logic into decisions is the essence of all the services that I provide. If you ask me, like, what is the service that you provide? In one line, I would say helping entrepreneurs take strategic decisions, because that's what the entrepreneurs do. They take decisions, and decisions could be with regards to growth, expansion, diversification, or it could be about continuity, or it could be about improving their processes, improving their leadership, whatever. So the one thing that entrepreneurs has to do every day is take important decisions. The rest of the work can be delegated. The rest of the work can be given to managers and other employees in the company. So this is one area, or this is the area that I actually handle. And while handling this area, it could be about changing the competitiveness, which is the business model. It could be about the growth plan, which is about organic or inorganic growth, or horizontal or vertical growth, or it could be our franchising, or it could be our expansion, geographical, national, international. So these are the areas that, so the essence of the whole thing is that we provide clarity and we bring logic into the decisions that they take. And getting a third party opinion actually helps businesses clear themselves out of the clutter and make decisions. And taking decisions is a very difficult process, because when a person takes a decision, he is clouded with a lot of noises. That could be from within himself, that could be from his colleagues, that could be from his partners, that could be from his family, that could be from the society. And these actually can prevent him from taking the right decisions. So this and this is the essence of the whole consulting process, bringing logic into the decisions that needs to be taken. So there was instances where we actually advised clients against growing very fast, because that might actually be bad for them, or change that the way they grow. And yeah, so this is how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So, and another big factor these days in any business, and what we are seeing world over, is the impact of the digital economy and the digital transformation that's happening across the world. So how are these family businesses responding to the digitalization of businesses? Are they in general being proactive? How are some of your clients doing with the digital models of business, social media marketing, etc.? Could you touch upon that aspect, please?
With regards to my clients, as I said, people who actually offer consultants are usually progressive entrepreneurs. So as progressive entrepreneurs, it will get reflected in all the aspects of management. So yes, they will be opting for social media marketing because they do understand that that is the most cost-effective way of reaching target customer segments. And yes, they would be actually opting for digitalization if it's possible. So people who opt for consulting and have advisors are usually of that mindset. But the vast majority of entrepreneurs are not of that mindset. They are not progressive. They usually see changes not as opportunities, but as challenges. They see changes in government rules. They see changes in markets. They see changes in customers, all as a challenge, a problem, an obstacle that somehow that they have to find a way around it. And as a result, if they do any changes in the organization, if they bring about digitalization, if they get into social media marketing, it's not because they like to do it, but it's because they don't have any other options. They are forced to do it. And when they do it not with the will, definitely it will not be in its perfect shape, because they are not in it, So they'll always try to do it in the lowest cost model. They'll always try to do it in the least required method. And as a result, they won't be doing it right. Mm-hmm. So the people who offer consulting, they actually embrace all these things. But then again, when it comes to digitalization, there is one thing which I would like to add is that many businesses who actually want digitalization are not able to do so, because they are not having the right digitalization service providers within budgets in the market. There could be big players who provide such technologies, but it could be very expensive. And there could be small players who are providing services, but which would not be end-to-end, and it creates more complications. But I mean, there has been situations where I have been looking for my clients digital solutions, which we were not able to get, because every business is unique, and bringing digitalization to many businesses is also not easy, even when the clients actually desire it.
Mm-hmm. Let me touch upon one more aspect of family business, and that is about the generational divide or generational alignment. So how do you see the new generation of family members who are coming into the business with, let's say, a lot of overseas education versus the traditional and the practices they want to bring in versus the traditional business strategies that the founders had been leveraging? Do you see a divide, and if so, what are you seeing as a solution?
That's a very relevant question. That is the essence of most of the issues that family businesses face, the generation gap. Today we live in a world where there is several generations living together. You have the boomers who are of my father's age. You have the generation X who are of my age. Then you have the generation millennials or the generation Y. Then you have the generation Z who are actually who are actually in the entry-level jobs right now, and the Y in the mid-level jobs. And now you have the alpha who are in the colleges and schools who are actually going to enter the market. And addressing this issue is impossible without knowing what differentiates between these generations. Quite often what happens is that you have a baby boomer, a decision maker, who is trying to create incentive system for his generation Z or generation Y children so that he can make the business interesting for them. And it fails because he does not really know what makes them happy. Every generation has their own priorities. Every generation has the things that click with them. And what clicked with the previous generation will not click with the generation that's below them. And unless we know what the other generation thinks and what they think of as important, as a businessman, as an employer, as a manager, as an employee, as a team player, or even as a father or a mother, the relationship will not be good if we are not able to understand the other generation. And this is a very complex situation. We have to understand what triggers each generation and build processes inside the organization to motivate such employees, build such processes inside leadership to ensure that you know how the other leaders are functioning. And in family businesses, the founder has to know what triggers his generation so that he can build a structure that attracts them. I mean, he might be building a package that he thinks his generation would fall for it, but the new generation may not even they may not even look at it, you know. It may not inspire them, and he will be sitting there and thinking, what have I not given them? Why have they are ungrateful. They don't really understand the kind of pain that we went through, the kind of, to get this offer during our generation was impossible. And that's not going to help. It's just going to be a complaint, and the other generation will not, they will not recognize it. One common problem, one common simple, silly problem that businesses fail is that, which I have commonly heard, is that the second generation, the sons who are supposed to be heading the business, don't come to the office on time. So you have the father who is at the office at the correct time, but his sons might come after 1 hour, 2 hours, may not come that day. And he's just wondering, how do I make them come on time? You can fire them because they're family members. And even if you fire them, they're okay with that. I mean, you know, so that's a dilemma that they do not know how to solve. So this is because they do not understand how they think.
Great. I mean, it was a great conversation, and thanks again for coming on the show. And for our viewers out there, we'll be back next week where we discuss the Lok Sabha elections in India with a political strategist. So thanks for watching, and see you same time next week.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you. Call 800-749-7781. That's 800